Today, you're going to learn English with the news. We're going to read a news article together. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. Our headline, scientists may have solved mystery behind Egypt's pyramids. Now, there is one article missing in this headline that's required grammatically. Do you know where that article should go? Scientists may have solved the mystery, because mystery is a noun, a singular countable noun. So it requires an article, the, because it's a specific mystery. A would be any mystery. Now notice here, Egypt's pyramids. Pyramids is a noun. It's in plural, so the article is optional. But here we have a possessive. Possessives replace articles. Remember, though, that adjectives do not replace articles. So here, if you said Egyptian, Egyptian is an adjective. Egypt is the noun, and adding the apostrophe s makes it a possessive noun. Egypt's pyramids. The pyramids belong to Egypt, but Egyptian is an adjective. Egyptian pyramids. So in this case, the is required. The pyramids, specific, the Egyptian pyramids. Notice another very important word, may. This is important because may is a modal verb of possibility. So when they say Egyptians may have solved, this is just one possibility. Another possibility is that they have not solved. So this is not conclusive. It's not a fact. It's just a possibility. So if I ask you to subscribe to my channel and you say, Jennifer, I may subscribe, this isn't the best news. It's not the worst news, but it's not the best news. If you say, I will subscribe, then that's good news because will is a commitment. You use this to say, I commit, I promise. So if you want to show your support to me and my channel because you enjoy these lessons, put that's right, put that's right in the comments. And don't worry about taking these notes because I summarize everything in a free lesson PDF. You can find the link in the description. Now let's continue and learn about this mystery. Scientists believe they may have solved the mystery. Notice the mystery because now we're in the body of the article. So all the grammar requirements like articles, auxiliary verbs are required, whereas in the headline, they can be omitted. They may have solved the potential because of this modal of potential, may have solved the mystery of how 31 pyramids, including the world-famous Giza complex, were built. Notice this, we have were, but then we have the world-famous Giza complex, which is just one, the complex. So why is it were? Well, remember that is actually being conjugated with pyramids. This is the subject of the sentence that the verb is being conjugated with. The pyramids were built. This additional information, notice that it's between commas. It means it can be removed from the sentence and the sentence is still grammatically correct. So this part is not the subject of the sentence, it's pyramids. 31 pyramids were built in Egypt more than 4,000 years ago. Let's review these two sentences. I solved the problem. What verb tense is this? Very simple, right? I solved the problem. This is the past simple. It's a completed past action. Because you use the past simple, it sounds like a fact. There is no doubt about this. I solved the problem. This happened. It's a fact. But if you say I may, this is our modal verb. And then notice we have this perfect construction. I may have solved the problem. This is the possibility of a past action. I may have solved the problem. I may have passed the exam, for example. If you want to show some doubt, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. So this is a great construction to practice and to compare against the past simple, which sounds like a fact. A research team has discovered, now notice team is our collective noun. So a team is made up of many individuals, but is conjugated as third person singular in American English. A research team, a research group, for example, has discovered. What verb tense is this? It's the present perfect. It's a completed past action with the result in the present. The result in the present is now you know how the pyramids were built. Maybe, because may have. A research team has discovered that the pyramids, because they're specific pyramids. If you were talking about pyramids in general, you don't need an article. You could say pyramids are beautiful. This is pyramids in general. Any pyramid in the world. Pyramids in general are beautiful. The pyramids in Egypt, the Egyptian pyramids are beautiful. So in that case, you use the article because it's specific pyramids. Remember that a possessive noun replaces an article. So in this last one, Egypt's pyramids, you don't need an article, are beautiful. That the pyramids are likely to have been built. Another word of possibility. Likely to have been built. Again, this means that this is just a maybe, but likely sounds like 80%, whereas maybe is more 50-50. I'll likely go to the party is 80%. Maybe I'll go, I may go is more 50-50. So the pyramids are likely to have been built along a long-lost ancient branch of the Nile River. Are you enjoying this lesson? If you are, then I want to tell you about the Finally Fluent Academy. This is my premium training program where we study native English speakers from TV, movies, YouTube, and the news so you can improve your listening skills of fast English, expand your vocabulary with natural expressions, and learn advanced grammar easily. Plus, you'll have me as your personal coach. You can look in the description for the link to learn more, or you can go to my website and click on Finally Fluent Academy. Now let's continue with our lesson. For many years, archaeologists, repeat after me, archaeologists, archaeologists, archaeologists. Archaeologists have thought, notice again our present perfect, because if it's for many years, it means it started in the past and continues until now. For many years, archaeologists have thought that ancient Egyptians must have used a nearby waterway to transport materials, such as the stone blocks needed to build the pyramids on the river. We have another modal of possibility in the perfect construction. Must have used. This is still a possibility, so it is not a fact. It's a possibility. But it's a strong degree of possibility, maybe 85, 90, 95% possible. Let's look at a realistic example. Maybe I could say to you, you must have passed the test. You studied for months. So I'm saying there's a strong possibility, 80, 90, 95%, because you studied for months. Now, I could use may. You may have passed the test. If I use may, it's less likely, maybe 50-50. So I would probably change my next part. You studied a fair amount, because in this case, there's an equal possibility that you'll fail the test. So this is, again, a useful construction to practice. Up until now, nobody was certain of the location, the shape, the size, or proximity of this mega waterway to the actual pyramid's site. Let's look at this time reference, up until now. Perhaps you're more familiar with simply until now. If you're not, don't worry. It simply means from the past to this moment in time. Up until now, adding this word up is the exact same thing. It does not change the meaning. It sounds a little more conversational, a little more informal, but the meaning is the same. So you can say, up until now, I've been using my old laptop. So this is from the past until this time that I'm saying these words, up until now. You could say, until now, I didn't realize how much faster newer models are. Again, this entire past period, and it extends to the moment I'm saying these words. Again, they're the same time reference. There's no difference in meaning. This one is slightly more conversational. Let's continue. In a cross-continental effort, cross-continental means it spans continents. So it goes from one continent to another. You hear this a lot with cross-country, cross-city, cross-neighborhoods. You can have any geographical area. In a cross-continental effort, now notice here, cross-continental functions as an adjective because you have in an effort and then what type of effort. So this gives you more information about the noun. And then you always modify your article with what's directly in front of it. So if you didn't have this word, it would be an effort because this is a vowel sound. But now your article matches with the adjective. In a cross-continental effort, the group of researchers used radar satellite imagery to map the river branch, which they believe was buried. Notice this pronunciation. Don't look at the spelling because it doesn't have this sound. It's the same as a strawberry, berry, airy, buried, and then you just add a D at the end. Buried, buried, was buried by a major, oh, what about this? How do you pronounce this? Say it. Drought, out. Out. So leave, out, out. It's that sound, out, and then with a drought. And of course, a drought is a long period of no water, no rain. Drought and sandstorms thousands of years ago. Believe is another word that suggests this isn't fact, it's possibility. They believe, they think was buried by a major drought, but they don't know for sure. Otherwise, the wording would be different. They could say which they know, which they are certain was buried. So the word choice you use is important because it conveys a lot of information. It shares a lot of information. So in this case, we know this is just a possibility, is not presented as fact at this point. The team was able to penetrate the sand surface and produce images of hidden features by using the radar technology. Remember that team is a collective noun in American English, so it's conjugated as third person singular. The team was able. You could also say the researchers, which is clearly plural. You have the S here. The researchers, in this case, it's they were able. What if I said the team of researchers? The team of researchers. In this case, do you need was or were? What do you think? Was or were? Put your answer in the comments or say it out loud now. The answer is the team of researchers. What do you think? Team of researchers was, because it's the team that the verb is being conjugated with, not of researchers. This is additional information. It's the team. The team was. The team of researchers was able to penetrate the sand surface and produce images of hidden features by using the radar technology. Let's continue. Among those features, so remember these hidden features that they were able to produce. Among those features were, how do you say this? Say it out loud. Were buried, like a strawberry, buried rivers. Among those features were buried rivers, so rivers that were below the surface, buried rivers, and ancient structures running at the foothills of where the vast majority of the ancient Egyptian pyramids lie. So this is under the surface of the current pyramids, which are, of course, visible above the surface. The waterway could have been used for the transportation of heavier blocks, equipment, and people. So this is the waterway they found buried underneath, and they used this radar technology to produce. But again, we have these words of possibility: could have been used, could have been used. Now, the use of all of the past is because, of course, this takes place in the past. That's why everything is expressed in the past. And then they're using modals of possibility because, of course, they're not saying they know the mystery of the pyramids. They have a theory. They have some information. It's not fact at this point. It's possibility. Could, in terms of possibility, is used to say there's one possibility. This is one possibility, but there are other options. So it sounds like a lower level of possibility compared to may, which was medium, and then must, which was the highest. The discovery of this extinct river branch helps explain the high pyramid density. So the high pyramid density means the high number of pyramids in a certain area. And the area is between Giza and Gist. I'm not sure how to say this. I'll call it Gist. I don't know where this is. And generally they provide information when it's not common knowledge. Perhaps you know what Gist is. I don't. So thankfully they tell us it's the site of Middle Kingdom. Oh, how do you say this? Burials. Burials. So a burial is with deceased people, part of the funeral process. Burial, burial, bury, burial. So apparently Gist is the site where deceased people in the Middle Kingdom were placed underground, were buried in what is now an inhospitable area of the Saharan desert. In this context, inhospitable, repeat after me, inhospitable, hospitable. Inhospitable means not suitable for humans to live in. So the conditions are not suitable for humans to live in. This has a different meaning in the context of guests. So visitors to your home. If you are inhospitable, it means you're not welcoming, you're not friendly, you're not generous, you're not warm to visitors in your home. So we only use this with visitors in your home. So for example, if I don't cook dinner, your family will think I'm inhospitable. So it's used as an adjective to describe me not being generous or welcoming to the visitors in my home. So you don't want to be inhospitable most of the time. Let's continue. The river branches proximity to the pyramid complexes. So here, proximity means how close it is. So it's saying that the river branches being close to the complex of the pyramids suggests that it was active and operational during the construction phase of these pyramids. And this is the evidence they have to suggest that they've solved the mystery of how the pyramids were built. But again, they don't have concrete evidence, so they can't present it as facts, which is why we saw all the modals of possibility. And that's the end of the article. So what I'll do now is I'll read the article from start to finish, and you can focus on my pronunciation. Scientists may have solved mystery behind Egypt's pyramids. Scientists believe they may have solved the mystery of how 31 pyramids, including the world-famous Giza complex, were built in Egypt more than 4,000 years ago.
A research team has discovered that the pyramids are likely to have been built along a long-lost ancient branch of the Nile River. For many years, archaeologists have thought that ancient Egyptians must have used a nearby waterway to transport materials such as the stone blocks needed to build the pyramids on the river. Up until now, nobody was certain of the location, the shape, the size, or proximity of this mega waterway to the actual pyramid site. In a cross-continental effort, the group of researchers used radar satellite imagery to map the river branch, which they believe was buried by a major drought and sandstorms thousands of years ago. The team was able to penetrate the sand surface and produce images of hidden features by using the radar technology. Among those features were buried rivers and ancient structures running at the foothills of where the vast majority of the ancient Egyptian pyramids lie. The waterway could have been used for the transportation of heavier blocks, equipment, and people. The discovery of this extinct river branch helps explain the high pyramid density between Giza and Gizeh, the site of Middle Kingdom burials, in what is now an inhospitable area of the Saharan desert. The river branch's proximity to the pyramid complexes suggests that it was active and operational during the construction phase of these pyramids.
Do you want me to make another lesson just like this? If you do, put let's go, put let's go in the comments. And of course, make sure you like this lesson, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And here's another news lesson I know you'll love, so make sure you watch it now.